Hello guys, and welcome back to another Tweaker Man video. So I'm going to be showing you how to do the front baffle on these mini monitors today. So there you can see that I've already done this one. It's come up really well. So what we're going to do is we're going to be showing you how to do one of these for this box. So we're going to move this box off of here for the minute. And this is the way we're doing it. Now, I always advocate routering the front of these out. Okay, but I want to show you the way that I do it, because I am extremely good at working with wood and doing perfect circles. So, where you would use a router to router out, with this we're using a two-stage system. So using some 3mm, or is it 4mm MDF, and then we're using some 12mm ply, hardwood ply. Okay, so to do this job we're going to need a various range of tools. There you go, you need a square, a compass. We're going to use these calipers there for measuring. We need a ruler, and the worst part about it is I've been using my electric fret saw and it's just packed up on me, which is annoying, and I haven't had time to get another one. So we're going to have to use a jigsaw for this, which is a bit more rougher. I don't really like using a jigsaw for this, but I'll show you how to do it with a jigsaw, because the good part about that is you're more likely to have a jigsaw than you would an electric fret saw. So I'm going to put the camera on the tripod now, and we'll get cracking on this job. So there is another thing that I forgot to show you. You need an engineering pencil really to do this job, because you want a very fine tip. You've got to get this pretty accurate. So let's put this piece to the side to start with, and we'll work on the face plate. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be measuring up 10mm from the bottom. Right, then we're going to be measuring 10mm down from the top. Now I'm going to do half of this, and then I'm going to the football, because my team, the MK Dons, are playing Peterborough United, which is like a derby for us. And then once that's ended, I'll be back to finish, because I've got to leave the leather to dry on the face of this. And I thought I'll do this. This is Saturday morning. I thought I'd crack on with this. Okay, so we've done that. Now we need to draw a centre line through the middle. Okay, so this is 155. So we're going to be going 77.5. Because we want to make sure it's all lined up perfect. There we go. That's it. There we go. So we've got that perfectly centered. Just double check that there. Yep, perfectly centered. Right, so now we've got to work out the size of the hole we need to start with, because what we want to do is we want to set the we've got to get this shape, because this is going to be rebated into this, you see. So this, you'll get the explanation of it, Eric, as I go on. But because it's got this felt around the edge there, I can't really just put this in place and draw around it, because it will probably go out slightly. So what I have to do is to get this hole, the diameter of that hole, cut the hole out first, then sit the speaker into it and then draw around it, because it will give me a perfect shape. So what I've got to do now is I've got to measure this. So I thought I'd take these. That's about right there. And I'm going to measure across here as well. So this works out too. So they've done this in inches. So this is exactly 5¼ inches. Okay, so let's just put that there for the minute. In fact, we'll move that off of there just in case it gets damaged. So we need to go up 5¼ up to the top here. Right, okay, so but the hole size we need is smaller than this. So let's take these calipers here, measure this here. It's easier to do it like this, because we're working in inches on this now. So it's around about 4 3/4. Right, okay, so we want to carry on measuring across here. So we've got that up to there, and so half of that is going to be 2 5/8. Oh, that's not what that's in there. Yeah, most of my work's done by hand. I very rarely use too much, maybe a drill, but everything I do generally in my work is done by hand. So that's why I like working by hand anyway. So I'll do a lot of hand carving, pieces of antique chairs that I broke off. I have to carve a whole new piece to go in there. So I'm quite accurate with my hands. That's why I prefer to show you how to do it this way anyway. It's a lot more skillful than using a router. Right, so then we're going to go from, let's get this up here. Join that up a bit. So I'm a bit tired this morning. I had a hell of a lot of work on this week. So I haven't had any time to upload a video yet. Until now. And I've got to work all day tomorrow, which is Sunday as well. Right, so we're going to just... So this is what we want to get the centre. There we go. So now what we need to do now is we've got to get our compasses here. And what I need to do is set this to 2 3/8. See, I prefer working in millimetres really, but these speakers, so I could convert it, but it's easier just to go with this for now. Right, so let's go back there. So let's just take this piece of tape off. I stuck that tape on the other day when I was using this ruler. But before we do that, let's just double check this is still going. Right, time's going on. It's the problem with these videos. What I should do really is just to film them and not talk and just speed it up really. But I like chatting too much, that's the problem. Take that out for now. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut out a hole. Then we're going to take it over to our oscillating bobbin sander and sand it round to make it a lot neater looking. Right, okay. There we go, that's our hole perfectly cut out there now, marked out. Now we need to do the same for that for our tweeter at the top. Now I've started to really think these tweeters are the dog's kahunas. This Scan Speak make very nice stuff. Okay, so now we've got to do the same here. We need to get the outer diameter and then the inner diameter. So first of all, we can get our calipers now here. And that's the beauty of these now. We can go over the other speakers. The drivers are a bit more difficult to do this with. I could just look up the sizes on the net, but I'm going to go like this. Now when we actually do the hole, the outer hole for this, what we're going to do is make it slightly bigger, so it has a little bit of play around the edge, only slightly by about 1 mil or 3/4 of a mil. Right, so that should be about right there. Right, okay. Measure this again there. That's 4 and a. So these are measured in millimeters. 103 mil. Okay, so now we need to get the middle of this part here now, which is 11 and 2 mil. So that's going to be 56, which is in the centre there. Okay, now. So, what did I say that was again? Right, so that's that. Right, so this is a 104. So I'm going to take this back down. So we need to do this 52. Now I'm a bit crazy the way I work. I'm a bit unorthodox. I'm not like normal people. I have my own way of doing things. Is it it works out in the end. Double check that. Right, so that should be correct. Right, so there we go. That is the actual the plan. So we need to cut this out now, which we'll do now. Right, so now what we need to do now is we need to drill some holes in this so we can get our jigsaw blade in. So we're going to start off here. There we go. And let's put this down here to one side. Now we've got to get the jigsaw set up, which I've put down here. Now you can get a smaller blade, a thinner blade, which I would advise. But I should be able to do this way. Right, so I'm going to put this on the side here, bring this over and hold it down. It doesn't matter because we're going to sand this up on the oscillating bobbin side. Now, we're going to just go over to the oscillating bobbin sander and do that after I've cut this one out. So there we go, pretty good already, but we need to sand it up on there. So we'll pop over to the oscillating bobbin sander now and do that. So here we have our oscillating bobbin sander, great piece of kit for doing round holes. So we just start that up like that. good. Now you could hand sand this as well, take a bit longer, and you wouldn't get a smoother finish, but it's right. Let's turn that off for a minute. I need to just check whether this fits the tweeter now. So here we have the tweeter sitting into the baffle there. Okay, so all I want to do now is just to give it another little tinkle all around, just to make it slightly bigger, just so it's not got any, so it's got about half a mil, 3/4 of a mil, 1 mil. It doesn't really matter. Just so all I do is I just go around like that. What this does, it makes a perfect circle as well. Right, that'll be fine. That's perfect. Now we've got to move on to this one now. What we want to do is just to make the circle a bit better, so then we can get our woofer into it, and then we can cut round the woofer. See, this is great. It's a great machine for getting circles. Look at that. It's pretty perfect. So this is the size we need now. So we're going to go back onto the bench now and show you how to do the draw around the woofer. So now all we need to do is to put our woofer into here, like so. Okay, and now we just need to draw around it really, just to so we can get the exact size we need. And we're going to just need to use our engineering pencil. So we're going to take our engineering pencil. Okay, we'll put it up onto there like that. Get that correct. Then we're going to we need to make sure that we've got the woofer exactly in the right place, so it looks nice and square. Measure it a bit. I'll measure it there like that. That's about, that is spot on there. And very slightly. You want to get it spot on really, because it just make it look so much neater. We get the measurements right there. I think that's right now. Right, so now what we need to do now is just to take our engineering pencil and just draw around this, because we've got to cut this shape out now. And the beauty of an engineering pencil is it's very thin. You can get the perfect shape. Right, now so let's pop that back out again now. And there we go, that's our shape there that we need. So we're going to be cutting that out now with a jigsaw, that shape, and then we'll go over onto the oscillating bobbin sander and we'll sand it in. So we're going to start cutting this out now with a jigsaw. So we've got to be very careful now because this is a very fine cut. This is why I like using the electric fret saw, because it's very easy. But I can do it with a jigsaw. Let's move this out of the way. And hopefully you'll get the gist of it. So we've got to hold it on the edge of the bench because we don't want it to flex and bend and break. So there we go. It's pretty close already, but I'm going to spend a bit of time now sanding it in, and I'll be back in a second. So here we have it. Sits into the baffle perfectly. All I've got to do now is just to go round and sand it a little bit more to make it a little bit looser, so we've got a very slight gap around the edge. So I shall be doing that and we'll be back in a second. So here we have the outer part of the baffle, and now I've marked out the middle there, if you can see it there. So all I've got to do now is to drill some holes and cut this out with a jigsaw, and then go round on the oscillating bobbin sander on that as well. So let's crack on with that now. We need to drill a couple of holes first. So we just want to get a couple of holes going here. One there. Remembering this part doesn't have to be as neat, but you can just cut it with a jigsaw and leave it like it. But I like to really make sure that it's going really well. So we're just going to get the jigsaw again now and cut around here. Let's move that piece of wood out of the way. pretty good, pretty round. You couldn't get a lot better than that really. So we'll do this one here as well. This one's going to have a little bit out down the bottom there as well. There we go. So all I'm going to do now is do some sanding up on this, and I'll come back and show you how it looks. So here we have it. We've got our woofer and our tweeter all set into the baffle now, and this just pops up like that. There you can see it, that's on there, and this just goes straight over the top. So that is a way of doing it without using a router, and it's come out spot on, and I'm really pleased. So now we're going to cover this front baffle now in leather, so let's crack on with that. So here we have our leather. This is proper pure leather, Scottish hide. Scotland and Ireland make the best hides of leather because their cows and bulls are in a lot more of a damp environment, so that means the leather doesn't dry out like it does in Italy. Now Italian hides are probably one of the worst because I'd never use Italian hide on anything that I recover for anyone, because I know that over a period of time that it won't last as long. So most of the sort of furniture you buy from places like DFS are Italian hides, and they sort of big Italian hides up, but they're not really that good because they come from a drier environment. So here we have it now. So what we need to do now is to put our air compressor on, because we need to stretch this leather. We're going to stretch this leather tight across here. So if I can find my staple gun in this complete mess of a workshop at the moment. Oh look, it's over there, which I've got to tidy up tomorrow before I start my other jobs. Right, so we're just gonna, let's get rid of some of this rubbish on here. It's organised chaos in here, that's what it is, and that's what I say, and that's what I'm sticking to. Organised chaos. Right, so we're going to be using PVA to glue this down. Okay, this Gorilla Glue make. I've been using this lately, it's readily available and easy. So what we're going to be doing is temporary tacking this to this board here, because we want to stretch the leather. There we go. So we're going to put a temporary tack there, and then what we want to do is we want to stretch the leather over to there. Run out of staples at the vital point. See what other things we've got in here. That'll probably do it. Put that in there. Pull that over there. Then we want to stretch this down this side, down to there and across. See, look, see the amount of stretch you've got in leather. You can really stretch it out. And I want to pull it that way a bit, and this piece, wait, and back over to there again, back over to there, over to here, over to there, down in the middle there, and onto here. Right, so let's put this back over onto here a minute. Now you'll be able to see now that the front baffle is going to fit in there nice and neatly onto there. Okay, so now what we need to do is to start spreading our glue around. It's a bit tight now and again, this glue, so I've got to just go and pop the top of this off. Right, so I also need some baby wipes. That's what I use to wipe the glue off with. We'll get some baby wipes now. So now what we want to do is we want to spread this glue nice and liberally all over around here. Doesn't matter if it goes over the edge, we're going to clean that off and give it a light sand at the end. There we go. And now what we're going to do is just to spread this out with our finger all over. You've got to get it, make sure everywhere's covered. You don't want anything where it's got the opportunity to lift up. The PVA sticks to leather really well. You can glue leather desktops down with PVA, or you can use wallpaper adhesive to do it, because that also works really well as well. There we go. Make sure I've got everywhere covered nice and thick. Right, I think that's about that there. So now what we want to do is just to flip this over now. I'll lay it onto our bit of wood here, onto the top of the leather. And what we're going to have to do is weight this down with something. I'm going to push that down nice and hard onto there. And we want to make sure we push all the glue out, because you'll see the glue all easing out down the sides and the edges. We want to wipe that away, because that'll be awkward for when we come to cut the leather off after. I'll just get a baby wipe or a damp cloth. Just go around and wipe that off. Get most of the glue off. So this is just offcut some jobs that I do for people. So I did a big job in the week out of leather. Right, so now what we need to do now is just to find a piece of wood, which I've got here already made. Let's go straight on the top of there, perfect size. And all I'm going to do is just to put something heavy on the top of that for now. So here I've got a can of paint stripper there, the real proper paint stripper. And then I'm going to use some another can of oil there, and another bottle of meths. And what I'm going to do is just leave that there. Okay, so I'm off to the football now. So wish me luck. MK Dons versus Peterborough United. So come on, you Dons! Right, okay, so we'll leave that there, and we'll be back in about 4 hours, and that should be lovely and dry, and we'll show you how I'm going to cut it off. So I'm back from the football. Extremely disappointed. We were 3-0 down, and we come back to so we come back to 2-3 at home. Bad performance today, really poor, but there you go, you win some, you lose some. So let's remove these from here now, and we're going to use this knife here and we're going to cut round the leather. Okay, so what we need to do first of all is before we start to, because this is pulled quite taut now, if I was to cut the edges off like that, that may collapse in like that. So we need to cut, we're going to cut the entire inside out of both of these, and you need a very sharp knife, and you have to start by just getting it in there and running around the edge. Always take your time with these jobs, never rush them. Right, so I've just nipped that away a bit there. And then what we'll do is we'll just run around the edge of this again after with some sandpaper, just to rub any bits of leather that overlaps very slightly. So if we see there like that, that needs to have another little bit out of there. Just there we go. Down this bit. You get little bits that hang in there. So you can see that there now. That's cut away there. There's some little bits there that just need trimming round. Right, so we can do that one now. So we need to cut round this hole now. So when you're gluing leather to MDF or to wood with PVA, it does tend to dry quite quickly. So you could have probably done this after about an hour. There we go. We're going to run down the sides of these straight off there. Try to keep your knife dead straight and not on an angle too much. We can go round and shave a tiny bit of the leather off if we need to, if it overlaps as you go. There we go, boys and girls. That's how it is. I need to trim it up a little bit. So what you can do is just run the knife along the edge there, like so. You need to make sure you've got a very sharp blade. And then what we'll do is we'll just give it a light sanding. We can put it down on the edge there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on trimming the little bits up, and I'll be back in a second. Right, so here we have it. Perfect. So the front baffle, and then the panel behind it, the baffle, which is the baffle anyway. But so what we've got to do now, we need to glue this up, right? So we're going to do the same as before. We're just going to cover this in PVA. So now some of you might say, oh, routering it out's easier. But it's just this main part. I mean, routering the circles out is very easy. But it's just this part. This is a bit awkward. Which I could have made a template and gone round it, which is fine. But I think this is going to be just as good. just got to get loads of glue around there. And then afterwards, what we do is we just paint that in black around there, just to make it look. So when you've got a very slight gap around the edge of the woofers and the tweeter, you won't really see it, because the driver's black. Both of the drivers are black. There we go. When you glue up, you've always got to make sure the whole surface is covered. Never just run a little bead around, because it's not going to glue well enough. So it needs to be totally glued up like this. Right. I mean, you will get glue oozing out. So let's put this on top of here now. Right. Give that a good old and then make sure all the glue's oozing out around the sides and everything. Then we need some more baby wipes to start wiping some of the glue away. So I'm in the house on my own tonight, so I can crack on. The wife's gone to Nottingham to visit my daughter in uni. My oldest daughter, Molly, is working on the set of Mamma Mia in the West End. Well, she'll be back actually about 7, half 7. And all the 2 boys are out, so I'm on my own, so I can crack on, which is great. I've had no time lately, but now this is the time to do it. My day would have been perfect if we could have won the football, but hey, you can't have everything. Right. Now the hardest part is to keep this flat without it moving, so we need to make sure that we get this dead flat. Make sure all the glue's off the surface of the leather, because we don't want any glue on the leather. I mean, this is quite time consuming doing this, but you'll get a better finish on the leather doing it this way than you would if you was to router it out. Well, I think that'll be alright now. The glue will dry quite flat. Right, so now what I need to do is just to get this on its end there, make sure it's all nice and flat. Clean the glue off of there, we don't want that going to the bench. There we go, that's pretty good. So now we need to do now is to put this over to here. Double check that again, you've got to make sure this is spot on. You don't want anything going wrong. Usually I'd have a couple of beers on a Saturday night, but I'm not going to tonight, because I need to keep myself on the ball. So there we go, we're going to put that on top of there for a minute. And then we're going to put this back onto there like so. Keep that nice and flat, make sure that ain't moving anywhere. And this, I think that's pretty spot on. So we probably only need to leave this on here for about, I don't know, an hour. And then I'll pull it off and I'll show you what it looks like. Then we can just sand around the edge a bit, and we can try it in the cabinet itself. So what I'm going to also be doing tonight now is I'm going to be making the crossovers up on another video. So you'll see that on another video. So I'll be back in a minute once this is dried. So we've left this now for a few hours now. I'm just going to take these bits off, and hopefully this should be dry. There we go. It's still actually got some glue on there, around there, which I'm going to scrape away in a minute. So there you can see it's come up really well. So that's it for this video. So we'll be showing you the rest of the way we finish all this. So all I've got to say now is thanks for watching another Tweaker Man video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to press that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And thank you for watching, guys.